Investing in cryptocurrency is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you to achieve financial freedom. You are not going to find gains like this anywhere else. The coming decade for crypto, holy cow, it's going to be so crazy. So much money is going to be made. But the gravy train's not going to last forever. I think the next few years in crypto are going to be the best years in terms of hopping on that gains train. In today's video, I'll explain why I believe that to be the case. My name's Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing, so if that's a topic you would like to learn some more about, make sure you subscribe to the Lark Davis channel, gently tap on the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, and of course, click on the notification bell if you do want to know when I put out a new video. By the way, if you want to start earning some passive income on your crypto, you need to get yourself an account over on Celsius. You can earn 6.2% on your Bitcoin, 5.35% on your Ethereum, 8.88% on your dollar stablecoins. Use the link down below to start your account, and you can get a $50 Bitcoin bonus when using the code LARK. Now let's go ahead and get into this topic. So, this chart right here, this is probably the most important chart in crypto right now, certainly one of them. Currently, there are around 300 million people globally who are using or have used or have owned cryptocurrencies or currently own cryptocurrencies. That number is growing every single day. Now, currently, that represents around 3.7% of the total global population. That's going to be 1 billion people if this rate of adoption continues as it has been. 1 billion people by 2024, 3.7 billion people by the end of the decade. That's by 2030. The global population today is 7.9 billion people. 2030 is going to be 8.5 billion people. That's almost half of the world will be into crypto by the end of the decade. That is some incredible, incredible stuff. To give you some more thoughts on the numbers here, because it's really, really important to understand how insane it's going to be when we have all this flood of people coming in. Global smartphone ownership today is at 3.8 billion people. Projected 5 billion by 2030. So if we get up to 3.7 billion cryptocurrency users by the end of the decade, that means nearly 80% of smartphone owners will be using crypto. Internet access, another interesting way to look at it, currently at 4.6 billion today. The most optimistic estimates say that we could get internet access up to 7 billion users by 2030. That's about 50% of the people who have the internet are going to be using crypto by 2030. Come on, that's craziness right there. You can't tell me that's not crazy, because that's damn crazy numbers right there. Now, what does all that massive influx of users mean? Of course, by the dates that we think that it could happen by, it means that the big percent of the gains in the market will have happened by 2030. You can see this here. This is a adoption curve. So we see the early innovators coming in, the early adopters. If we look at it as a percentage of global population right now, 300 million people using crypto. We're in the early stage of the early adopters phase. 50%, that is right here. So by the end of the decade, we're going to be at the point where essentially we're hitting this kind of area. And depending on how we want to look at those statistics based on people who are likely to be users, we got to exclude babies. Babies can't use crypto, man. Come on, man. Babies can't use crypto. Let's get with the program here. Of course, a lot of grandmas are not going to use crypto. There's, of course, just the simple reality of crushing poverty, affecting millions of people, hundreds of millions of people around the world. That won't have changed dramatically for a lot of people by the year 2030. Those people just can't afford a smartphone. They're not going to have crypto. So if we're looking at, let's just say the smartphone users, then we get to 80% of smartphone users potentially by the end of this decade using crypto. Now, if we were to use that metric, that puts us up like here. Think about that. So that's the market share as we get new users coming on board. So the peak users here, around 50%, that's around mid-decade. For if we take the smartphone metric. But we see the market share, most importantly. If we get to 2030 and let's say 80% of people who have a smartphone are using crypto, that's going to be probably the majority of the addressable market for that. Yes, other people who have internet access will also come in and use crypto, et cetera, but that's a pretty good metric. That means most of the gains will have happened by 2030 for crypto. Yeah, think about that. I know we're all excited about crypto and it's an incredible life-changing opportunity. Right now, it's not going to last forever. Yeah, there's always going to be a new coin, a new NFT, a new possibility to make money in crypto. It's always going to be there, but it's not going to be as big as the opportunity is right now. Think about this. If Bitcoin gets up to $500,000 by end of the decade, earlier, let's say 2025 even, whatever, then for Bitcoin to give you 100% gains, it needs to go up to $1 million. That's an extra $10 trillion in market cap at that point. That's no small feat. Can Bitcoin get there? I think so. Someday Bitcoin will be trading at $1 million. The only question is how long that takes, but the lion's share of the gains will have been gone. To go from here to $500,000, that's a 10x gain. That's pretty cool. It's 1,000%. But to get that extra double on top of that, that's only 100% gains. So something to think about, We will see a lot of the gains having already come and gone by the year 2030. Now, between now and 2025, and yeah, to a lesser extent by 2030, we're still going to see a big blowout happening near the end of the decade. Incredible wealth is going to be made. Dan Moorhead of Pantera Capital, he came out and he said, we're going to see a $40 trillion market cap for crypto. If we had Bitcoin dominance around 25%, which would be very low for Bitcoin dominance, that would give us a Bitcoin price, $500,000. $10 trillion market cap Bitcoin, $500,000 per coin. Ethereum, $20,000, $30,000, something like that. But here comes Raoul Pal, basically saying, Dan, you're not bullish enough, dude. $200 trillion in 10 years is possible. And if we look at the inflation of fiat currencies and the decreasing purchasing power of fiat currency, if we look at the total addressable market of crypto, it's everything. It's ownership, it's collectibles, it's property, it's value transfer, it's wealth storage. The financial markets we can bring bonds and stocks and all this stuff onto crypto. If you start looking at that picture, $200 trillion, it's possible. Definitely possible. But how do we see crazy valuations like this playing out? We're only at $2 trillion right now for a total market cap for all cryptocurrencies. How do we get up to 40 trillion? How do we get up to 200 trillion? Well, there's a few big factors that I think you need to be paying attention to. Right now, we have an exponential increase of fiat on-ramps going on. Now, in order to have a rising bull market, a super cycle kind of situation, you have to have more money coming in all of the time. That's exactly what's happening right now. This year, the New York Digital Investment Group, they have inked deals to make it possible for almost every single bank in the United States to be able to custody and offer Bitcoin to their customers. Game-changing stuff right here. We've seen a few little announcements of different people, different small banks starting to offer that to customers, but we haven't seen it in a big way yet. Give it a few years, it's going to be everywhere. A lot of mega banks, the big boys of the banking world, they've started offering cryptocurrency only to their elite customers. Other banks can offer it to small customers with NYDIG, but the big guys, they're just going and cutting their own path here. PayPal, obviously, that's massive. They have hundreds of millions of customers globally. Bitcoin ATMs are at an all-time high. We have ETF products in Brazil and in Canada. We have lots of stock-traded products for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in European markets. The USA, of course, is the big outlier here. It's got the world's biggest equity market, so we do want to see those kind of ETF products coming to the USA, and they're obviously coming. It's just a matter of when they actually come. Country-level adoption is happening. Yes, El Salvador has made Bitcoin into legal tender, but we also see other things going on. For example, Singapore's sovereign wealth funds. This year it was reported they've been buying Bitcoin. It's a pretty big deal. Sovereign wealth fund, in case you don't know, that's basically the investment arm of a country. Other things too, we have NFT auction houses out there. selling, Christie's and Sotheby's, the world's biggest auction houses, they're selling NFTs now. So just another way for money to come into the market here. Social media platforms. Everybody's on social media these days, man. So popular. So popular. Well, this is getting crypto into the hands of so many people. People no longer need to come and seek out crypto. Crypto's coming to them. It's coming to where they are. TikTok, 1 billion users, just announced they're doing NFTs on Ethereum. Reddit, 330 million users. They're doing community tokens on Ethereum. Twitter, 350 million users. Bitcoin tips using the Lightning Network. NFT verification using the Ethereum network. Facebook, 2.8 billion users. They haven't launched their product yet, but when they do, Facebook's Diem, or whatever the final version of it's going to be called, is going to be freaking massive. You cannot discount how incredible it is for crypto to be tapping into the network effect of the world's biggest social media platforms. Blows my freaking mind. And crypto's starting to invade everything in a very, very serious way. We see celebrities buying NFTs, talking about crypto. We see the meme culture definitely hooking into the crypto culture. Internet culture overall just is becoming inseparable from crypto culture. Big money investors piling in, millionaires, billionaires, family offices, hedge funds, private funds, companies. All these guys want to get a piece of the pie. Media coverage is constant for crypto. It's not all bad. It used to just all be bad back in the day about how Bitcoin's dead, everything's going to die. The script is flipping. Oh yeah, the clickbait media definitely does a lot of negative coverage, but they do negative coverage of everything because that's what they do. That's what they do at the media. But we can see a lot more positive stories, a lot more talk about the technology happening in the media. It's getting this in front of people's eyes. It's a major political talking point as well. We see regulators around the world trying to regulate crypto. Sometimes they're getting it right, often they're getting it wrong, but they're talking about it at the highest levels of government everywhere. Surging adoption rates also happening in developed nations. We see some of the biggest countries in terms of user rates are from the developing world. So places like Nigeria and Vietnam, places like this are seeing incredible surges of user adoption. This represents, of course, billions of people. Remember, we were just talking about how we want to get billions of people on board by 2030, 3.7 billion people. Well, that's how it happens, is we get tapped into every market in the world. Anybody who has a smartphone can get on the crypto train. So all that's happening. Meanwhile, we're already in a post-peak Bitcoin era. The supply of many major cryptos on exchanges continues to fall. Peak Bitcoin, probably one of the most important metrics here for us, happened in 2020. There's never going to be that much Bitcoin on exchanges ever again. It's just going to go down. We have users exploding, we have demand exploding, supplies going the other direction. That's an incredibly important factor here. Incredibly important. Final thoughts here for you. There's literally no other investment opportunity like cryptocurrency right now. We're literally going to go from 300 million to more than 3 billion users by the end of the decade. It's a 10x in users, and it's going to result in much more than a 10x in the price. Quite simply, we're going to see this market go absolutely insane. By 2030, though, crypto, it's going to be so mainstream. It's actually going to get to the point where it's kind of boring. Kind of boring. Right now, if you're just getting into crypto, you've been into crypto just recently, you're not early. You're not early. I want to tell you that. You're not early, but you're also not late. You are arriving before the vast majority of humanity gets any exposure to crypto. And people will. It's going to be everywhere. Anyway, just my 2 Satoshis, of course. Your question for today. Do you think that by 2030, crypto will have basically gone mainstream and become boring? Or is it just going to be the 2030s or the next level of the insane bull run? And maybe Lark's not being bullish enough. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. Let me know down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and peace out till next time.